Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Plus 3 podcast. I am your host, Ducky Please, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host, the Arcade Buddha himself, Justin,
What's happening, peeps?
and Amras Amandel, aka Logan.
What's going on?
And we are back with another episode. So, this week's episode, we'd like to talk about something that is very close to all of us, or at least close as far as deadline goes. We're going to be talking about Guilty Gear Strive. It comes out from the airing of this podcast. It'll be coming out 1 week from now. And we played... It's been, what, like a year and a half worth of, like, information and betas. Like, there was the first... what was it, the first like closed beta way back when the UI was all ugly and like the burst meter followed your health and like everyone was like no.
Oh god, that's right.
Yeah, and then there was the first open beta earlier this year in February where we played the new or updated version and everything felt a little bit better, but the lobbies were bad and there were some questionable decisions that were made as well. And then they went back. We had the second open beta recently. It was, I think, 2 weeks ago, where there were a lot of improvements that were really good. The lobbies were still somewhat mediocre, and we kind of just we know what we're getting as a product now. So all three of us have either been expecting or played the beta or have been trying to ingest as much content for the beta as much as possible. I know Justin and I particularly plan on going pretty hard on the game once it comes out. I think you're still kind of undecided, Logan, is that right?
I'm definitely going to make it my main fighter for at least a while. There's things I do and don't like about the game, and like as long as I enjoy it enough to continue sticking with it, it'll probably turn into my main fighting game. If nothing else, because like there's not a whole lot of people that play Power Rangers, and I'd like to be a part of a bigger game.
And this is like the biggest fighting game in the last what 2 years?
Like a while.
This is the hype for this game is palpable at this point, and the biggest thing about that is how impeccable the netcode is, which is the largest draw for the game.
God,
period.
So good.
Literally made this game. You know, it could have been
really
broken, even like rollback netcode, but Street Fighter V like, which like varies from like pretty good to like terrible.
Yeah,
but the fact that, like, hearing you guys talking about how like we played on Wi-Fi and we played people and it felt great. I was like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Yeah, even when the second beta rolled around, I streamed it to Discord over Wi-Fi, and you saw, and there were very little hiccups. You could see my frame delay and everything. And I mainly decided to play on Wi-Fi the second time around to really test the netcode this time, because I think I played hardwired last time. Actually, we played mostly offline last time, Logan and I, so we didn't really get to test
we were wireless the first time.
We were wireless the first time, but we mainly I didn't play online as much.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I was knocking on the celestial door. I just didn't quite make it.
Ah, okay. So what we want to talk about in particular with Strive is what we do like about the game, what we don't like about the game, and then where we kind of hope the game goes from here, or what we kind of, I don't want to call them expectations, but what I do want to see like in the future of the game. So I'll start off first because I dedicated, I want to say, like 30 plus hours to that second beta. I was really going ham on the second beta. I played strictly online. I tried out Anji, but then I also ended up trying Giovanna a few times. I messed around with Milia in training mode. I played around with Sol a little bit as well. And I can genuinely say that all of the characters that I have tried, especially the one that I'm planning on maining when Strive first drops, which is going to be Zato, all the characters in the game are very fun in their own right. They still maintain that level of uniqueness that each of them really needs to stand out in a Guilty Gear game. And no two characters play the same, which I love. I absolutely adore that. Anji and his guard point mechanics, or the little spins that he does, are really effective. They're really effective and they're really fun. The the way that Eddie regenerates with Zato 1, it allows you to actually utilize the puppet more, which has always been kind of an issue with me and the character. It's just it's too punishing to lose Eddie for the most part, and like that's the whole character basically. Giovanna, insanely good pressure, very fun character to play, and you don't need a whole lot to pick up and play her, but I can definitely see that the character does have depth, and she's got some really solid mix-ups as well. But it's very strike throw oriented. Soul.
I mean, so is Saul.
Yeah,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say Soul has a very similar game plan, but the only difference is he's literally the best character in the game. I really cannot stress how strong that character is just because of his options. He's so good, and I don't want them to nerf him because Soul is like your main character, right? Like he's the quote unquote Shoto, right? He should be the baseline for everybody. Everyone who isn't at his level should be brought up to him. Playing against the chips that I played against, and then playing against you in the last beta, and seeing like the differences between them, definitely Chip is a strong character and a very large annoyance, I will say. So I'm gonna have to crack that matchup pretty well. Milia, pressure's insane. Okazeme is the most fun in the game. Milia's Okazeme is absolutely the most fun in the game. I cannot tell you how good it is.
Oki, that's real.
Yeah, and it's real because at first people were like, "Oh, there's no Oki in this game. Oh, there's no Okazeme. There's no follow-up because all this soft knockdowns and everything." No, obviously we were speaking from a misinformed point, and you know I forgive all of you that we're spouting that nonsense. It's okay. You live and you learn. But performing Milia's mix-ups and meaties are so fun and rewarding. It's fantastic, and it's only going to get better from here as when we actually get our hands on the game. And then what was the last character that I tried? Let me think. I think that was basically it. I did mess around with Ino a little bit, and I'm very happy with how she translated into this game. I don't agree with them making her a grappler by giving her a frame 1 grab reversal. But, you know, we just have to deal with these things, and it's okay. But yeah, overall, the beta was a fantastic experience, and I had a lot of fun with all the characters that I played. I'm super looking forward to the game. Now, that's me just gushing about it for a few minutes. Justin, as an outsider looking in, what do you like about Guilty Gear Strive?
As shallow as it may be, just the visuals, you know, it's. I haven't touched the game, you know. I haven't played a beta. Like I don't know how good this game actually looks, and I won't know until the day of. But like, you know, when they add like rollback and stuff to like Accent Core, right? Like, cool. But this game is like ancient. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, it's almost like, yeah, this calculator can fucking run off rollback, but who gives a fuck? Its graphics suck. But like, seeing something like Strive with its art style and its high fidelity graphics and everything, and that having some of the best modern netcode, or the best modern netcode, I think we all agree on, like, that's cool. That's really, really neat. Gameplay wise though, the characters I'm thinking about maining are Nagoriyuki will probably be my main. I will be trying Faust again, and Ino as well. Faust is looking a little weak is not the right word, but his RNG is especially not in his favor, it seems, this time around.
Well,
I mean, what do you...
So, I fought one or two Nagoriyukis in the open beta this time around, and he was nerfed from the first open beta to the second open beta. And as I'm watching more footage, even though I kind of struggled with him in the beginning, I still ended up winning most of the matches. I struggled, and the matches were close, mainly due to just lack of matchup knowledge. But from what I'm seeing for the character now, he needs help. He's very...
Yeah, like talking about Nagoriyuki, like he's gonna be a difficult character to balance, and with all three characters that I've chosen, I may be in a rough spot because Nagoriyuki might get trapped in balance hell, to where like he'll never be in a solid place. He's constantly being readjusted. Faust is just, I mean, I like playing Faust because like not everything is going to be in my favor, you know. But when it is in my, that's fun. I like gambling. I think it's cool. And then Ino, technically, I'm gonna have to put a lot of time into her just to be able to do any of her stuff. So like there's like 3 different barriers with like 3 of these characters. But talking about Nagoriyuki, like we all saw the footage against him and Giovanna, right? And he's big chillin'. Giovanna has still like 75% of her health left. And he's like, oh, I hit you. RC. Boom, 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 boom. Dead.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. And I was ready for that life. I was ready to, for everybody to hate me. I was ready for it. I was excited. Now he can't even do his bread and butter.
True. It does feel exponentially faster. But in addition to that, there are just some matchups where he won't even get that chance because he can't do much. I've seen a few videos have surfaced recently with Nagoriyuki in the corner, and Ino is throwing her note at him, and he can't do anything about it. He legitimately can't do anything. He doesn't have a reflector. He doesn't have any way to really get over it. He can't air dash. He can't forward dash. He can't teleport because he's negative and in ass clowning distance of Ino. Then there was a second video that I saw where it looked like I don't like using this terminology because it's probably more of like a 7-3, maybe a 6-4. But Nagoriyuki in the corner versus Zato can't do anything with Eddie up. And it was just a loop that he did. He would do the oppose, which is the counter by Eddie, which is if you throw a button while Eddie is in that stance, Zato does not get hit, and Eddie just absorbs it. And then he will do a counter attack after a while. But what was happening was the Zato would throw up the Eddie oppose, walk at the Nago, wait for him to throw a button, command throw. Eddie would dissipate, but the command throw was just long enough for Eddie to come back, oppose, command throw. Oppose, command throw. And the one time that he dodged the command throw, he just jumped and air grabbed him. And there was literally nothing that Nago could do. And I felt bad for the dude.
He couldn't burst?
He could burst, but then that just puts him full screen, and then the only thing that he can do at that point is far heavy slash. That's it.
The thing about his Blood Rage is that because his defensive options are kind of lacking, he's not hyper aggressive, but he's like I like fishing archetypes where I'm patiently fishing in neutral, but when I get the hit, the game starts.
True.
And you can die.
But then if you don't get that hit,
then you probably die.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's the whole game plan. You know, you live and die by the blade. And that's how it fucking goes. That's fine. But now what am I going to get? Like, I was watching that one Nagoriyuki you were playing, and his strategy was kind of the best thing. It was like, boom, boom.
Yeah, just go in. Yeah, like, you can't even give him a chance.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is that once his Blood Rage goes up, if it's punishable, save your burst. And if they don't do a super to punish you with it, then you just burst and go ham. But it drains your life so much and so fast.
Yeah,
so it's just too overtuned.
Yeah, so it's gonna be rough actually balancing the characters. I do like the way that Strive is balancing some things as of right now. So we will see in the future how they decide to take that. Anything else you particularly like about the game that you want to address?
The most interesting thing was watching you play it. I was like, I haven't seen one air combo, and
yeah.
it's not something I dislike. You know, I play Baiken. Good God, you know, all of her damage is in the air. You know, but like, it was interesting to see a more grounded version of Guilty Gear. This is pretty much the real follow up to like Street Fighter V in a way. I mean that in a good way. Just seems heavy, whatever. I'm a little nervous about it, you know, getting into it and everything like that. But I think once I get the flow for it really well, I'll really enjoy it and catch my stride. in it.
Yeah, I think you'll make it. You'll be fine. And then finally, Logan, you played the first open beta, and I've been sending you stuff here and there on the beta so that you can kind of, or on the game itself so you can kind of keep up with it. What do you particularly like about Strive right now? What's the one thing that's drawing you to it?
So, like, I did enjoy the gameplay from what I played. I did think it felt a little bare bones. But I know ArcSys is willing to make changes to a lot of stuff like that. I do hope that characters could do, kind of like we said earlier, get brought up to the same levels like Soul and Ramlethal. Because, like, they're so much obviously better than everybody else. And, like, they have more options, right? Like, and if more characters had those same options, like, I feel like that would just be better across the board. And, like, I do agree. I don't necessarily want Soul nerfed or whatever, but, like, I do want some of the characters that, like, get nothing off of jabs pretty much. Like, to have something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't particularly figure out anything useful with Mei in terms of jabs. Like, I could get jab, jab, medium, dolphin, but, like, my command normals are forwards, and I'm a charge character. I would like to see something to, like, give her more or something there. I thought Chip was good. I felt like he needed something, but I couldn't, like, put my finger on it in the first beta, and apparently he got buffed for the second one. But I never did look into what those were. So I want to try out the new Chip before I make a real call on him. Millia still looking really, really good. I'm excited to have her as my third. But I'm still worried about the corner. As the rushdown extraordinaire, I guess. I just really don't like wall breaks. Like, the super mode is fine or whatever, but I don't like it. don't just.
I can definitely understand.
I have to figure that one out. Because, like, I just feel like the wall break benefits certain characters more than it does others. And, like, because, like, what does Ramlethal lose for breaking the corner? Nothing. She goes back to her ideal spot of fighting you in neutral with, like, her great buttons and range and stuff. But if Chip doesn't break it with, like, a super... now he's got to get back in. Or, like, Millia has to get back in. Or, like, you know, Mei. So I want something there, but again, I'm not really sure what I could say. But like I said, from gameplay alone, I want to keep playing the game. And, like, the visuals are amazing. The music is amazing. We finally got to hear every character's theme. And Mei's theme is amazing.
Mei's theme 2021 and in 2022. Do you hear me?
Bro.
Every day for the rest of my life.
Every match for every tournament, Mei's theme all day. It's so good. But yeah, I just want more of the game. I guess because I didn't get to play the second beta because Sega decided that I wasn't going to by releasing the new Genesis beta, and well, I'm a PSO2 player.
Yeah, weird call on their part, to be honest.
Yeah, I wish they hadn't done that, so I could have played both of them. But really, I want more with the game than anything else to see, like, to show my final opinion, because I'm so kind of torn on the game.
Yeah.
Because I want to like it. Because, like, it looks so good. It feels so good. Like, I don't want to just turn away from it for, like, you know, no reason. So.
Yeah, I understand that, definitely. And the game does definitely have a lot of good qualities. But we also do need to take those good qualities and we need to criticize the bad qualities or bad traits that the game does have. So that'll transition us into our next topic. We're going to talk about what we don't particularly like about the game, or things that we would like to see improved with it. Hopefully either before the official release of the game or within a patch in the next, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so after the game gets its footing. Me personally, I would love to see the lobbies actually fixed. Please, there's a connection issue with the lobbies that I kept running into consistently, and it really puts a damper on actually playing the game. I know that that's kind of like a stability issue that they are probably addressing, but I just need to make it known that there is just, I don't want to call it a fatal flaw, but it's definitely, it does kill the motivation to play the game sometimes when you have multiple issues trying to connect to a dual station. outside of the dual stations, in game, I would really say I did notice myself getting more meter this time, which was an issue that I had with the last beta. I didn't receive. I just never felt like I had meter to do anything, or I would like RC once in a match, and that would be it. And you really have to make that meter count, because meter is the lifeblood of Guilty Gear. Like, you need that to do anything, especially in Strive. I want to kind of see maybe just one more option to use meter on, but then I do kind of understand that they are trying to keep it at a relatively simple level for those that are just now getting into the Guilty Gear series. So I'm unsure of what it could be. I want to say dead angle, because I heard that dead angle is in the game, then I heard that dead angle isn't in the game, so I don't know 100% for sure. Is it not? Okay, I wasn't sure. Like, I heard it.
Oh, that's what you do. Like, did you try it?
I did not. I did not even bother. I was too busy trying to bait parries with Anji Super. So
I will say the biggest flaw when it comes to that is the meter gain is one thing. However, the way it's separated is bogus. It's 50-50. You know, you have 2 bars, so you are highly encouraged. So put it this way, like, you get more meter now. Great. One of the biggest things in fighting games that was kind of like my level up when it came to getting better was that, like, if you're fighting and you have a full stick of butter, get to cooking. You got meat.
Use it.
Use your resources.
And the thing is, in Street Fighter, is that it's got like 3 bars, right?
Yeah.
So okay, like, if I want to spend a little bit of extra damage to either play catch up or cement my my lead, then by the time I get done using this EX bar and I go for like another combo, like, I can almost build it back. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's got good meter management when it comes that way. Something like Xrd, it's got 4 fucking bars, and things are reduced to 25% and 50%, and you're even rewarded and or punished with meter gain and meter wasting. So there's this bigger dynamic to it. And in something like Xrd, I'm constantly using meter, because Baiken doesn't get anything really with her combos, but man, if she even just 1 RC, we're going to fucking town, dude. Whole different fucking character. But then, you know, with the meter gain, like, you're constantly made to spend meter, but, like, I'm not just RC and neutral.
I don't want to say that I don't like it, but now that we have a better answer to it, I would like it reverted. The air backdash changes, I would like to be reverted for quite a few of the characters. Air backdash goes nowhere now. I am sorry for asking for them to be nerfed the first time around. Yes, jumping was very strong. Ow. You did not have to do all of that, but they did make 6Ps infinitely better, which are your reliable anti-airs, and then your riskier anti-airs still give you huge rewards, so that's still very good. But air backdash, as far as mobility for characters that need it, I'll say, you know, characters like Chip, characters like Milia, characters, even characters like Ramlethal that kind of just need just one air mobility thing that would just, well, maybe not Ramlethal particularly, she's already got privilege, but the other characters that actually need it, I'll say. Air backdash is an important tool. Now that 6Ps are as good as they are, I think it's okay to really at least bring them back up a little bit. But all in all, I don't have too many complaints about the game.
Yeah, I would say, if anything, like, don't make them what they were, because, dear lord, air backdashing was so strong in the first beta. I actually really liked the backdash changes for air. At first, it's like, Jesus, you go nowhere, but, like, it again, it just caters to my playstyle, really. Like, it's harder to play keep away, so like, it's easier to, like, get closer. And, like, there's more like interaction in the middle of the screen. So I kind of liked it, but I did think man, like what little like, because I got to play the second beta. I actually did play it for what, like 20 minutes or so, just messing around real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I backdashed with May and went, whoa, that goes nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely nowhere.
Jesus, but like having watched some of the second beta like matches, I don't feel like it was nearly as impactful as some of the other changes, like the ones to 6P, where Nagoriyuki can just 6P a fireball and go through it.
Everyone can do that. That honestly, they brought that back from like Accent Core, and I was like, damn, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I know it had been a thing before, but like, it just looks weird. It looks like Hugo crouching Sagat's high tiger shot in Street Fighter 4. Like he just clips through his head. It's so odd.
I have an opinion on 6Ps. I think Daisuke, his kid Guilty Gear Strive, came back and said, I have a boo-boo. Instead of getting a band-aid, my man got surgery.
I do think they overtuned him a little.
Just
a lot.
But
the best button in the game, and that, I mean, this isn't Saul's case. The best button in the game is Saul 6P.
It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I got hit by that like counter hit, and it called me a racial slur. I'm not gonna hold you.
It literally is like, it's one of those buttons, and you're hitting them in the corner. Like even Majin Obama was like going off about it, he's saying like, you know, it's a button that's so good you feel guilty about it, and then you stop doing it. When the answer is to keep doing it, because it's that fucking good.
Yeah.
And that's in Saul's case, right? But like they're just too fucking overtuned, and like, yeah, you can get, you know, bigger punishes, but like, Jesus. Like, I get it's supposed to be the anti-air. I genuinely understand that.
It's supposed to be your reliable anti-air, because you don't, you really do not get anything off it. Yeah,
yeah.
There's legit no reason, in my fucking opinion, to be honest, to use any other button. Keep its anti-air qualities there. Like, let it be that good when it comes to anti-airing people, but like, make its fucking horizontal hitbox like smaller. It's just too fucking long.
That would be better, at least for Saul's case, because characters like Zato 6P, it's still trash. Like it's got that invul, but it's still kind of trash. Giovanna 6P is actually still pretty good. Chip 6P is okay. Milia 6P is, it's a better neutral tool, honestly, than it is an anti-air.
See what I mean? It becomes unstable to what you want to use it for. And while I do like open-ended ideas of like, hey, this is an anti-air, but you can do this with it. Not in a game like this. This is a game that's very strictly rigid about like what its ideas are. You know, very early on, Daisuke was like, this game, you look at a character, this is what they do it.
Listen, that's like one of the things that like is why I'm teetering the fence on the game, I guess, kind of. Like there are certain things like the 6P changes were weird. Like why give the character all the mega like full invuln when you should just make it air invuln? Like there are some things that I kind of wish. I know the extra landing lag will help with this some, but I kind of wish that dedicated anti-airs had like air unblockable properties, at least for some moves. I know that's not very Guilty Gear E, I guess, but I would like to see it because like I feel like even if most people who are just gonna air dash into you all the time are also hitting buttons, but like somebody just air dashing at you and blocking, like unless you're specifically jump throwing them out of it, like it feels like a pretty good like hi.
From what I heard, jumping was like the strongest thing to do, especially like characters like Mei with their great air buttons, you know? Like
in the first beta, yes. Yeah. Especially. I don't know so much about the second beta, but
it's in this weird hybrid ground. It's the first Street Fighter-esque anime fighter, you know? Like we're trying to keep this game grounded, but it's still Guilty Gear. That's gonna be a little difficult. Because like, okay, you're gonna jump at me, I have my anti-airs ready, sure you can. Well, you blocked it.
Yeah, and that's
because I'm ready.
That's one thing I think Granblue Fantasy does correctly. It keeps that grounded idea alive because grounded attacks are air unblockable. So like, you know, Zoe, big, huge crouch fierce.
Yeah.
Like, covers a bunch of screen. And then like she gets a whole like counter hit combo juggle out of it. She can cancel it into her dash, into her ground slam, and then get like a whole like, you know, punch, whatever. And I don't think, maybe not necessarily getting ridiculous stuff like the half health anti-air combos that Granblue has, But like, if I do Beta Blade as Chip because I see you air dash at me or jump at me, I kind of feel like it should hit. And that's probably just a Street Fighter player in me going, but it's DP anti-air. But like, I would like to see at least some kind of ground unblock, like air unblockable somethings in the game, if they do want to make the game more grounded.
Lastly, we'll move on to Justin. Again, from what you've seen, outsider looking in, what do you particularly not like about Guilty Gear Strive?
I don't like how it's this hybrid between like your Links and your Gatlings, because the game, that's kind of this game's biggest weakness until it develops, is like, what is this game? Do you want it to be more like Guilty Gear, or do you want it to be more like your traditional 2D fighter? And some concepts don't match together. In Xrd, we're dashing at each other all the time. My Oki isn't knock you down, run up. You're just gonna grab me because it's one frame. My Oki is I knock you down, jump up, do tatami with Baiken, and then I get to pressure you with a block string, a Gatling that's safe. And then I can dump meter on pressuring you with it, and then keep going. It's a very simple system that makes a lot of sense. There is a lot of creativity to it. Not when it comes to getting bigger damage all the time or whatever, but just the way I can like approach you, you know? That's why I like Tekken, because that's the whole fucking meta. Is what am I gonna throw at you? You know, I can throw completely different moves at you that do completely different things. And realizing what you're gonna do to me afterwards, even I'm constantly fucking thinking. But like in Xrd, it's like, okay, RC, go up, try to do something, okay, back to neutral. In something like Street Fighter, they're links, right? So it's more like a solid, more like boom, excuse me. It's more like a solid, like light jab into medium punch, and then I wait. That's when the mind game comes in, right? Okay, what am I gonna do after that? Am I gonna do like a heavy afterwards? I can do anything because you blocked it, you know?
It's very like it's pressure in like Street Fighter is very dependent on how you create your plus frames or your advantage.
Yeah, and depending on what I do, if I do lights and it hits just normally without counter hit, then I do my light variation. Or if I hit you with a medium, I do a different combo from whichever medium I use. Then if I hit you with a heavy, it's a different combo. There are different layers to it, right? And depending on what I want, maybe I want to go for a different combo for corner carry or Oki or damage, you know? So they're not like Street Fighter 4 links, right? But they're still there.
Yeah.
And then something like Xrd is like, okay, like what do you want? Like, why am I limited to what I can do?
Which is very true, and I think that's kind of true for that generation of anime fighters that Xrd came around. You know, that Blaze Blue, Under Night, stuff like that. They're very freeform when it comes to their pressure, which I thoroughly enjoy. Moving on to our very last subject of the evening. So we talked about what we like. We talked about what we don't like. Let's just talk about hope for the future. What do we want to see, or what do we kind of hope to see from the future of this game? Me personally, I honestly just want to see the game thrive, but the biggest way I think that's going to happen is that I want the devs to continue to take community feedback and apply it to their vision. I'm not saying change the fundamentals or the vision of the game or the scope that they have for the game based on what we were saying, but just take it into account and continue to let us know that you are listening to our feedback. And also, this is just me as a longtime Arc System Works fan, don't do that thing where we ask you for something and you listen, but you listen too well and you gut a character by accident, and then you don't do anything about it later. Don't, please. I've seen it happen so many times with characters over the course of Arc System Works games. I saw it happen in BBCF. I saw it happen in BB Tag. Rip Gordeau, man, you were the GOAT. I saw it happen with Dragon Ball FighterZ and Android 16. Even though I didn't like or play that character, they did not have to do my mans like that. That was unfortunate. It's happened so many times where ArcSys just listens a little too well, and then they just don't do anything about it later on. Even though all these other characters are finally brought up to where, okay, yeah, they could probably give them something to that effect back, or they could give them a little treat. You know, Cat deserves a little bit of salami as a snack, right? Just a little bit. But I do want them to continue to take community feedback, and even if they could keep doing like surveys or just like have a community manager that talks to us and that receives our input, that we can kind of, you know, go about it in that sort of way. I would really appreciate something like that. But just keep doing what you're doing, keep enforcing your vision for the game, but also just keep in mind what we are saying, because it's what we want is longevity to enjoy this game. At least until Melty Blood Type Lumina comes out, because I'm sorry, I might be a traitor. I might low key be a traitor, but we'll see when that happens. Let's see, Logan, what would you like to see from the future of Guilty Gear Strive?
I want to see some of the characters that have those whack Gatlings, ones that don't do very well, to game. I would even say a new Gatling, or a new command normal, just to help fill that gap so that they have more of the options, like Sol and Ram, because it does really feel like Sol and Ram are playing a different game, and I would like to play that game too, just with my characters. And you should kind of see things brought up across the board. I hope at some point or another we see some kind of new mechanic, because like I do feel like the game is a little bare bones. So I think something else would be nice to see. I would like to see the brake gauge get buffed. I want to be able to see it. Like, it's so
the
tiny.
wrist gauge?
The wrist gauge, yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
It's so tiny. Like an extra, like, oh, you just look up and go, shit, I'm dying. And this one, all of a sudden, you just, like, you get jabbed for 9/10 of your health, and you go, what happened? Oh, my wrist gauge, I've been blocking for 20 seconds. Alright. And then please fix your lobbies. Fix your lobbies.
Yeah,
at this point, I don't care if you do a menu lobby like Soul Calibur 6 or like Street Fighter. Get rid of this, because this is bad, and it's awful, and it's been said a million times, but please fix your lobbies.
Unfortunately, I think the lobby is here to stay, but I do hope they fix it, at least in the capacity of, you know, it being workable.
Just
if it functions, that's one thing. We'll grow to live with it, right? But
yeah. But if it doesn't just work, then it's not gonna happen. But then finally, go ahead.
I was saying, but for the most part, I just want to see, like, I'm just anticipating like the growth of the game, really, like seeing where they take it from here.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know who the next characters are, and pray that Arya's on my list. And do more good soundtracks. This soundtrack is amazing.
God,
yeah.
That's something I'm really looking forward to. Is what are the new themes going to be for the new characters?
Yeah, that's actually going to be really. I do want to see what characters they're going to choose. I don't really have any emotional attachment to any of them, really, so it's just going to be excitement for me regardless. But yeah, that's going to be exciting to look at. And I bought that season pass, so it better be something good. And then finally, Justin, what do you want to see out of the future of Guilty Gear Strive?
A long life.
That would be nice.
I want to see it. I want to see a long life out of it, because the one thing I could say for Street Fighter V out of anything else, I put almost 2,000 hours in that game. I've been playing it for longer than I've known Logan, which is crazy to think about. That game has been with me this entire time. And the problem with a lot of fighting games, I kind of felt that way about Power Rangers, even though I really do like it a lot, is that, like, yeah, it's got a life for, like, you know, when me and Logan are playing it. But I do miss a big community of people. Because I've met people through Street Fighter, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I'd meet anybody through Power Rangers. I feel like I would meet somebody that would be into it, but I wouldn't meet anybody from Power Rangers.
Like a scene.
Yeah.
I get you.
And that's cool to me, right? And, like, the Street Fighter scene's whatever, you know, honestly. But I have met some longtime, you know, brothers from that. And the coolest feeling to me was going into Central Fiction. And it's like, yeah, I'm just going to do a gacha there because it's there for some reason. I'm in the Tokyo servers. I'm like, wouldn't that be funny? And then somebody shows up. And I'm like, hey, you want to play? And they're like, yes, let's play. And then we play on this not not terrible connection for being across an ocean. It wasn't great, but also pretty surprising. And just like whatever, I didn't care if I won or lost, you know. And I was playing Hakuma, and they picked Susanoo, and then picked the character theme between them when they fight. I was like, this bitch gets it. Oh shit, go! And as laggy as it was, that's one of the most hype matches I've had this year.
Yeah, I remember being there for that. That was so wholesome to listen to.
Oh, God, it was great, right? Like that sense of growth and wanting to get better. Like, why do I want to get better, or why did I want to get better at Street Fighter? Because I can't wait to fuck people up and see my growth, and there's so many people to play with. Even now, it's kind of at not its last leg, you know, but I'm sure not as many people are playing it. You can still go in and get a match.
Yeah, it's waning.
Mm-hmm. And I say that because I'm afraid of the opposite of people will play this for 4 months and then it dies. Then what was the point of waiting for 2 years?
Yeah, what did we fight so hard for if we were just going to let it go?
Yeah. So I want to see this game be a staple. Honestly, for what it could turn into, I want it to surpass. I want to be the main fighting game for many years.
And I think that's all we can ever ask for. All right, well,
Baiken.
Of course, I think Baiken's coming for sure. But
Baiken's gonna be the first character reveal for that season pass.
We'll have to watch day one for that DLC announcement. So hope you guys are ready. But all right, so I think that's where we're gonna wrap things up for today. I do want to thank you guys for joining me as always. We greatly appreciate you two giving me some input. You know, being able to talk about games. And I want to thank everyone out there in the audience for joining us as well. Your continued support has been amazing, and we each highly appreciate it, letting us talk in your ear about video games for hours and hours on end. So thank you all as well. And let us know in the comments below what you think of Guilty Gear Strive. What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? And what do you want out of the future of Guilty Gear Strive? I think that would be really cool if you guys got in on the discussion. So definitely appreciate you all for coming out. Any final words, gentlemen?
Mace theme is really good.
All right, and that's gonna be all for us. So thank you all for joining us. Please be excellent to each other and have an awesome day.